All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into an ancient poem that honestly feels like it could have been written yesterday. It's this incredibly raw and powerful look at something we all go through: longing, despair, and, maybe most importantly, that stubborn choice to find hope. Let's get into Psalm 42. Right out of the gate, the poem just hits you with this image, and it's so physical, so visceral. This isn't just, I kind of miss you. No, this is a life or death thirst. The writer is saying their soul's need for God feels like an animal desperate for water just to survive. That feeling, right there, is the engine for this whole poem. So, where does a thirst that deep actually come from? To really get it, we need to start where the author started, in this place of really profound spiritual longing. Okay, so for a little context, this poem is from the sons of Korah. Now, you can think of them as this family of, well, they were basically the worship leaders at the temple. But here's the catch. They're writing this during a time of exile, physically cut off from the very place that defines their spiritual life. That pain creates a specific type of poem called a lament, which isn't just being sad. It's a structured, honest cry out to God.
And here's another key detail. It's also called a maskil. That's a really important word here. It means this poem is meant to be instructive, to teach us something. So this isn't just an emotional diary entry. It's a carefully crafted map designed to guide anyone reading it through their own dark valleys.
So the writer finds himself stuck in this awful crossfire. On one side, he's being attacked by his own happy memories, and on the other, by the constant, painful taunts of the people around him. And this contrast just lays the whole conflict bare, doesn't it? He's got these vivid, technicolor memories of leading huge, joyful celebrations. But that memory of joy just makes his current reality even more painful. A reality where his only diet is his own tears, and the only thing he hears is this relentless, mocking question. And you have to understand, that question, where is your God? It's not just trash talk. It's a precision weapon. It's designed to take all that external pain and turn it inward, to make him question his own faith and feel totally and completely alone. And this is the pivot. This is the moment everything changes. Instead of just soaking in all that pain from the outside, the writer turns inward and starts a really powerful, really honest conversation with himself. He literally asks his own soul what's wrong. He's not trying to bury the feeling or put on a brave face. He is looking his own despair right in the eye and saying, okay, what's going on here? He's giving a name to the turmoil he feels inside. And that right there, that's the whole game. He's not just wallowing. This is an active diagnosis of his own spiritual health. It's like he's being a doctor to his own soul, trying to understand the sickness, instead of just letting the symptoms take over. He's deciding his faith will lead his feelings, not the other way around.
And that internal conversation, that self-diagnosis, leads him to something really powerful. It's not a wish, it's not a hope in the vague sense, it's a command, an act of pure will.
This is his answer to his own question. It's a command to his own soul. He is basically preaching to himself, forcing a shift in his own focus away from his problems, away from the mockery, and onto his God. He is choosing to hope even when he doesn't feel it. And what's so real about this is that he doesn't just say it once and, poof, everything's better. This whole cycle, questioning his despair and then commanding his soul to hope, it's repeated in the poem. It shows us that hope isn't a magic pill. It's a muscle. It's a persistent, repeated effort you have to make again and again. Now get this. This internal choice starts to change his whole perspective. But, and this is so important, nothing on the outside has changed. The exile isn't over, the enemies are still there. The change is happening entirely on the inside. Because he made that choice to hope, he starts to remember things differently. He remembers God's love during the day, and he can feel God's presence, like a song, with him even in the dark. That despair starts turning into prayer. He's finding proof that God is with him, in the good and the bad.
So, this is where the journey lands. The psalmist arrives at the very destination he commanded himself to find. He reaffirms his decision to praise, and he doesn't just say God, he says my salvation and my God, making it personal. That praise is born directly out of the struggle.
So what's the takeaway?
I mean, what does this ancient poem about spiritual thirst have to do with us today? Well, it actually gives us a surprisingly practical strategy for finding that living water in our own lives, a way to handle our own moments of despair.
What's amazing is the psalm basically hands us a four-step playbook. First, acknowledge your feelings. Be honest. Second, remember. Look back at times God has been faithful. Third, actively choose hope. It's a decision. And fourth, nourish your soul. Keep up the practices of prayer and reflection. It's a roadmap to keep your inner world steady, even when the outer world is shaking.
And that brings us to the end of this explainer. This amazing poem shows us that hope isn't just a passive feeling that we wait for. It's a choice. It's a declaration. It's a fight. So we'll just leave you with this to think about. When you're the one facing that inner turmoil, how do you actively choose hope?